Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, as the Honourable Member has highlighted that I've already addressed this matter quite significantly, but I'd just like to take an opportunity to respond to the misinformation that Honourable Geringgeret Tambua made in a very erstwhile response. Just very quickly, to set the record straight, Mr. Speaker, sir, she said that we've allocated $20 million when in fact we've allocated $100 million, of which $5 million is used for retraining and reskilling, Mr. Speaker, sir, not $20 million. And Mr. Speaker, sir, again, I'd like to reiterate, and I think there's a very lack of sophistication or absence of sophistication in the economic thinking by Honourable Geringgeret Tambua and perhaps the others around her, that you cannot look at things in isolation. Like Honourable Randondro said, don't allow the yachts so drugs won't come. But we need to manage the economic impact of tourism or absence of tourism. In the same way, she's saying, Honourable Geringgeret Tambua said, don't build a hospital, don't build a police station, don't build the Prime Minister's office, because we need all that money for unemployment benefit. Well, actually, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the Hansard will prove you wrong. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, and so will the video, Mr. Speaker, sir, the point of the matter is that we are going ahead with ready to shovel projects because it actually creates employment. I think some of your members of, I think Honourable Tambuya was at some FTUC function where one of the unionists said, we need employment. This is precisely what we are doing. I mean, suddenly they've woken up to this fact that we don't just need unemployment benefit, we actually need work. And by having these projects, as highlighted in the budget, these projects at full throttle will employ about 1,600 people. Those 1,600 jobs currently do not exist. But we will not only be providing them with employment, but at the end of the day, we'll also be having this infrastructure. This is precisely the approach that governments have taken since the Great Depression in the 1930s. So I'd just like to, please, if you can understand that basic economic theory as to how it works, Mr. Speaker, sir. The other point, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to also highlight is that it's not a dichotomous approach. You know, it's not like saying, oh, if you're going to build those buildings, therefore we won't have unemployment benefit. No, actually you can do both. Economic, application is a lot more sophisticated than that. And lastly, as we've highlighted, phase 2, phase 3 will continue for as long as it's required. And I think the opposition, Honourable Geringgeret Tambua in particular in this instance, does not seem to understand that, as we highlighted, more and more people will need government top-ups. And we're here for the long haul. She is simply mouthing what her leader, who's unfortunately not here today, said in the Rag newspaper about the fact that, oh, phase 4. Why wasn't phase 4 got government top-up? Because, Honourable Member, phase 4 has got nothing to do with people who have become unemployed because of COVID-19. They were already unemployed 2 years ago. That's the difference. You see, it does not fit in with the political agenda. It does not fit in the political agenda. Unemployment benefit for COVID-19 is for those people who have become unemployed because of COVID-19. These people have been unemployed for up to 2 years prior to COVID-19. And the FNPF policy was not to give them the money or allow them to withdraw some funds, but we've spoken to the FNPF and they have agreed that these people could actually withdraw up to 1,100 if that's in their account. So they may, for example, be affected because all this time they've been unemployed, they obviously are depending on the family members. Perhaps some of those family members do not actually any longer have a job, who will be assisted by government, but these people will be given additional funds. That's the reason. Please try and digest that. It's very simple. So phase 2, phase 3 will continue for as long as we need to continue with that. And the funding will be provided for that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thank the Honourable Minister.
Supplementary question. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And just a quick question to the Honourable Attorney-General. How do those that do not have FNPF benefit from your unemployment assistance?
Honourable Minister, you have the floor.
As we highlighted, Mr. Speaker, sir, earlier this morning in the ministerial statement, there are some people who are in the informal sector. There are two types of people in the informal sector. There are some people who are now in the informal sector, but they actually have an FNPF account. They used to have one. So many people, for example, used to say, I used to work in the hotel industry, or I used to be a waiter or bus driver, whatever it was, and I had FNPF contribution. But for the past 3, 4, 5 years, for whatever reason, they've left those jobs and they're doing their own business. Some may be selling coconuts, some may be selling whatever they are selling, and they run their own business or providing a particular service. So those people, what we have said, that those people, as I gave the list, people can access those FNPF funds. But if they are also in the informal sector, we've already said they can apply for a concessional loan that we've said up to $7,000 in the micro-enterprise. Small business, 14,000. Medium business, small business, 14,000. Medium business up to 21,000. They can get a concessional loan. But as also announced today, those people who don't have FNPF accounts, we have the Cash for Work program that will be soon rolling out. So that's how they are able to also access funds or employment that will bring in cash. Mr. Speaker, sir, if the honourable member is asking that with, for example, if you take somebody who may be receiving 220 a fortnight. Now, if they are going to use 220 fortnight from the general account, it may come to a stage, if they don't have that much, where it will finish. And government then tops it up. There are some people in the general account who, for example, may only have $300. So if we're going to pay them $220 a fortnight for the next 5 fortnights, they use the first lot, then everything else government pays. We're already starting to do more and more, and that's what I'm trying to highlight. Every week, government is topping up more. In probably about 2 months' time, bulk of it will be government funded. As we've highlighted, the Minister for Health has said, the Honourable Prime Minister has said, nobody in this world at the moment knows for how long this COVID pandemic will have such a deleterious effect on economic activity, global economic activity. So this may go on for 6 months. We need to have those funds to continue to provide unemployment benefits throughout. It could be 9 months. But the comments coming from NFP and some of the other members from your party seems like we want everything now. We're here for the long haul. In respect of somebody, in the meantime, for example, if they have enough funds in their general account and they are withdrawing the 220, if they want to go and, for example, withdraw some additional funds, should they have the funds for a funeral or educational purpose or whatever the other reasons are, they can do that if they have the funds. The choice is theirs. Yep.
Thank you. We'll move on.